We are activating your unique self-discovery one show at a time. The Orchard of Wisdom Self-Discovery podcast are at your fingertips, just waiting to inspire and invite you in discovering just how awesome you really are and how to navigate through life in joy, enrichment, personal abundance, in mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul. All the people we bring you are here to serve you on your journey of life. Do enjoy our next show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest is Jeff Tomaszewski. Gosh, I had it a moment ago. I hope I've got it right there.
Close enough.
Close enough. There we go. Jeff is an expert on working with clients to reverse the aging process in only a few minutes a day. He understands that the CEO does not have time to work out, but that the health is the key ingredient to success. He specializes in working with men and women over 50 who have built their wealth and now have let their health suffer and want to live a life without the aches and pains on their own terms without wasting hours in the gym. Jeff understands how to create successful businesses and has done so with this company, Max Strength Fitness. Max Strength Fitness, they help men and women over 50 reverse the age processing in only 20 minutes a day, twice a week without breaking a sweat. Wow, I want to know about that. They deliver a better way to live. They understand what it feels like to worry about your health. They've created a powerful no-sweat workout that helps you achieve your goals while still having time for everything else that you enjoy. So this is something that I really want to know about because I'm definitely over 50. You have been a graduate of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business. You've been an active member in the Entrepreneur Organization Accelerator Program and served on the board. You've done so many different things, but why is it that you are focusing on the people, the 50 plus, the people that are really kind of married to their business or just don't have the time of day or haven't given their health the time that they've needed to do so? Why did you choose that age bracket? Why this demographic? Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Sure. Thank you so much. Well, I learned about the importance of strength at a very early age. I was only 5 years old. My mom was extremely sick. I watched her struggle and have the courage while battling ovarian cancer for 18 months.
Wow.
And then I watched my father work really hard to support me and my two older brothers while caring for my mom. And I'll never forget the day that my dad sat us all down on the couch and he told us what we knew what we were about to hear. Mom's gone. And she was 37. So
Wow.
at a young age, I saw what cancer did to her body. And when you don't take care of your health, strength is everything, not only your body, but your mind as well.
Yeah.
So a seed was planted in me, if you will, at that day, that early age. I would find later that I just truly wanted to help people become the strongest versions of themselves so that they could live life on their own terms without limitation.
We are spiritual beings having a human existence, and this vessel that we're in, this body that we're in, is the vehicle we're driving. If we don't take care of this vehicle, it can't be there for the journey that we're here to have. So it's really, really important that we do take care of the body, but also incorporate the mind, heart, and soul into it. Hi there. We can see that Jeff has got a different background here right now because his internet decided to go south. So he had to go to a different venue and make it work. And he missed what I just said. So what I was basically saying is that we are spiritual beings having a human existence, and that this vehicle that we're in is actually with us for this entire ride. And if we don't look after our body, mind, heart, and soul, as a wholeness, we're going to pay the price. And it's going to be a bumpy ride if we don't take care of this body. So it doesn't matter what age we are, we're never too young or too old to really do something about it, are we?
True. No, I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest thing for me in helping people over 50 is we all suffer from sarcopenia, which is the wasting away of muscle tissue and mass. And we suffer from that after about the age of 30, actually. So we lose about 1% of muscle mass every couple of years if you don't strength train. And you're like, well, what's the big deal? Well, when you lose your muscular mass and you lose your strength, your metabolism decreases, your balance decreases, your insulin sensitivity changes, your ability to do recreational activities decrease, your flexibility, your mobility and stability around your joints decrease. bone density goes down, cognitive function goes down, libido. All of those things can be truly combated and changed and improved through strength training. So that's why I kind of think strength training is kind of like the fountain of youth, because it changes so many of our epigenetic hormonal changes. These are the things that change as we age in that aging process from a hormonal perspective. So tons of research will show to support strength training can help combat those aging processes, if you will.
So where you were talking like 20 minutes, a couple of times a week, no sweat. We don't really have to push ourselves on the treadmill and sweat and overexert the body. A lot like the philosophy of Tai Chi and Qigong. It's very much about, the stretching of everything and making sure that everything is in flow, that, that the oxygen and the energy is going through the entire body. So, a lot of people think that, the heart rate, well, the heart rate does have to be up to, I suppose, to a certain point, but it's not really about that, though, is it? It's the
Well,
sweating it all out.
well, the no sweating thing is, that's an interesting point. So, people think you need to sweat to be productive, and that is
Mm,
absolutely not true, because if you start to sweat, you become less efficient at the activity you're doing. So, for
mm,
example, if I go outside and I go for a run on a hot summer day with the UV index high and the humidity high, my performance will not be as good as if it were a nice cool day where the body doesn't overheat. So
mm,
think of your car. If your car overheats, it doesn't
mm,
run as well. It's a mechanical process. Well, that's the same thing with our body. Our body's a mechanical process. So what we do in our studios is we keep the temperature controlled. We keep it at about 67 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason we keep it cool is I want to keep that body very efficient so that we can get the most out of the client in the safest manner possible. So the bonus is they literally don't sweat when they train with us. We've even got fans throughout the facility to dissipate any heat. So it's not that you don't have to work at an intensity level, because all of the research will show it's the intensity of the exercise that dictates change in the body.
mm.
So, for example, if my goal were to get the world's best suntan, which I don't advocate, but let's just use it for this purpose, right? So, if I want to go out on a hot summer day where the UV radiation is high, the UV index is high, that's the stimulus that creates change in the body. It's the UV index, right? So, if I go out there on a hot summer day, UV index is high, I could get reddening of the skin, which is the result. That's the suntan. Or I could bottle up that UV radiation, put it in a bulb in a tanning bed, and within 6 to 7 minutes, I could still get great reddening of the skin, hence a suntan. So what changed? It was the intensity of the UV radiation. So that's what we do at Max Strength Fitness is we bottle up, if you will, the intensity. So we bring the intensity or the quality of the exercise up and the volume and frequency down, because there's an inverse relationship between the two. Whereas most people just go in the gym multiple days a week, spinning
Mm,
their wheels.
mm. Oh, we have another whoopsie here. Bear with us, folks. Hopefully he'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, he's back. We lost you at spinning wheels.
Yeah. So most people go into
Oh, I've
multiple
lost
days
your
a
volume,
week.
your
They
volume.
really don't get the results that they want, and then they get frustrated and they quit. So it's
Yeah.
quality over quantity is what really works for our clients.
It's also when you're over 50 and like the things like aches and pains or, various things that have happened to you for your life, car accident, a fall, or this or that, and you've got injuries, it's we don't want to start pushing the body as if it's a 20-year-old anymore, right? We've got to be kind of more in tuned with what the body really needs and what it can cope with. Have I
I
got
can't
you?
hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I was saying, folks, we have these internet days and we have no control over it. The internet gods are playing their own trick on here, so just bear with us. So I was saying that over 50, can you hear me now? Take it from there.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of our, because we lift the weights in about 10 seconds and we lower them in 10. So we move very slow at a controlled pace. So
Hmm.
clients will never risk getting injured. Whereas most training is very ballistic in nature. It's fast, it's hard, it's pounding, it's up and down and
We're
jumping.
having some issue there
So
again.
our program is very therapeutic. I mean, we train clients hip replace.
Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry, you're just going in and out a little bit. Come on, internet, work with us here.
Yeah. So we train. Uh,
And I lost you again. Oh, you're back. You train people. Okay, okay, go ahead. You train people?
So we utilize a protocol where we utilize a protocol where we lift the weights in about 10 seconds and we lower them in 10 seconds. So we move at that speed because we want tension on the muscle the entire time. It robs the body momentum and it takes all the stress off the joints. So it's very therapeutic in nature. So we can train with any type of chronic orthopedic ache, and it's very therapeutic because it gets blood flow. It helps them build their muscle back and build the stability around their joints.
I don't think there's anybody over a certain age where we don't get some sort of joint pain, or inflammation. That definitely does happen. And so it's, do you find that it doesn't matter what state a person is in, that, it's maybe a slower process for certain people, but if they stay with it, it will help whatever injury or inflammation or joint pain they actually do have?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the beauty is we work one-on-one with our clients. So we always meet them where they're at, and then we'll progressively, slowly, at their pace, take them where they need to get to accomplish whatever individual goals they have. And like I said, with our program being very therapeutic in nature, they're going to increase their strength, which is going to help with all of the other modalities that we talked about earlier, as far as the aging process goes.
And this is where you're saying about slowing down the aging process, because if we can be optimized in our body, that the body is working with us and we're not putting so much strain on the body, demanding that it do this and do that for us without giving it the support we need. And of course, nutrition and attitude and sleep and all of that comes into it as well. The body can't be there with us, and so much we're going to miss out on life if we're not paying attention to that.
And, at the end of the day, my goal for my clients is to help them to improve the quality of their life so that they can play with their grandchildren. They can get up off the floor with them and they can go hiking and they can go on travel. Like you said earlier, they've built their wealth. Now they want to be able to enjoy it as they age and to help them rebuild that health so they can truly enjoy the finer things in life when they have now more time into the retirement years.
We often say health is your wealth. It doesn't matter how rich you are. If you don't have health, you're poor because you just don't have the body, to enjoy the riches. So, it is so many people, especially in today's society, have kind of given their entire health up to be wealthy. And it doesn't matter how rich you are. Not everything is going to fix you if you get down that rabbit hole. So obviously prevention is better than cure. And maintenance, just like you would a vehicle, your computer or your business, maintenance is a huge key in survival, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, it's easier to maintain your fitness than it is to get into fitness. So once people get there, it's just a matter of doing the consistent things over time, and you get that compound effect.
Repeat and repeat and repeat, right? Gradually building. If it just don't look to being in a hurry. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey, and just go with the flow. Let you take it slow and go with the flow, right?
Yeah. And so for our clients, we try to instill this program. Your sleep is vital. It's profoundly underrated is your sleep. So we help clients with their sleep methods, and so we come from a very holistic approach. It's exercise, it's nutrition, it's mindfulness, whether they're praying or they're meditating or breath work or something of that nature. And then obviously their sleep. And then they're just their daily activity, just moving throughout the day, being active. And it doesn't have to be intense or a lot, just getting the blood flow. So they're just not sitting on the couch or at the desk all day long.
Right.
So I tell my corporate clients who have a desk job is, every 15, 20 minutes, every 20 to 30 minutes, try to get up and just move around for a little bit. It doesn't have to be intense. Go for a 3 to 5 minute walk. That just gets your blood flowing, releases some cognitive stress that you might have had, helps you clear your mind, get a drink of water, do some deep breathing, just to reset your mind and your body.
One thing that is an absolute killer is anxiety, stress. And when people, especially, in big industry or any big business, stress is a part and parcel of it. And if we don't know how to release that stress is going to relieve us of us. So, part of what you're doing here too is actually helping people release the stress, because stress tightens everything up. Our whole body tightens up. That means the oxygen flow, nothing can flow throughout the body. The oxygen isn't going to the brain for clarity anyway. And so, as you
Right.
said, the breathing, really important, because that brings everything down. And the more you're strengthening the body, the more it's actually something you can do in a stressful moment just to help the body get through the stress.
Yeah, and by doing a high intensity program the way that we do it, and again, don't let that word intensity scare you. I mean, I just signed up 3 80-plus-year-olds this week. I've
Hmm.
got 4 90-plus-year-olds that train with us. So again, we meet them where they're at and we take them where they need to get to improve the quality of their life. But exercise done in and of itself is actually a stress on the system. It's
Hmm.
a good stress, though. It's a eustress, if you will, right? And so when we come and we ask our clients to work to fatigue or really work intently and intentionally on our machines to muscular fatigue or failure, it helps to not only build your muscular system, but it builds your mental resilience. I
Yeah.
firmly believe every day we should do something that we, that pushes the limits, that pushes us outside of our comfort zone. For example, like I have a cold plunge at home, and I hate that thing, but I know the benefits that I get from it. But I do it every day for the physiological benefit, but also from the mental perspective. Because when I'm done, I've accomplished something that I know I'm fearful of or I don't want to do, and it helps me to get through that day, and it helps me from a mental perspective as well.
As human beings, we sell ourselves short all the time in what we think and feel that we can do. And we are actually extraordinary creatures that are capable of so much. And that big word fear comes in. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I should do it. I don't want to do it because it's all fearful. And sometimes we, as you said, we have to just push through it. Now, there isn't obviously one size fits all. Not everybody wants to plunge into that water or should, but it is at least taking that step
Sure.
forward and finding something that you don't mind stretching yourself out on. You don't mind making yourself a bit uncomfortable because the results feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. The more you can push yourself outside of your comfort zone, and the more you do that day in and day out, the more comfortable you get with pushing the envelope into anything in life.
Mhm.
I truly believe we are all put on this earth and given God-given abilities. And the last thing I want to do is when I meet my maker is he says, here's who you could have been.
Mhm.
I want to do everything I can with all that I've given. And I want my clients to experience that as well. I don't want them to set limitations. I want them to shoot high, shoot for those goals, but really live the truest version and the strongest version of themselves while we're here on this earth.
We've established very much through life that it's an inside out job. It's not the exterior of life, the social medias, the popularity, the money, the, status or anything else that counts. It's the inside, it's your connection, to your own divine source, God, whatever you wish to call it, really being in your soul, heart, and spirit, your mind really being very clear and what you're here to do and who you're here to do it for. And that already can bring about a great deal of peace to the body. And then whatever you're having to do for the body, it benefits the mind, heart, and soul, and vice versa. So it's a synergy of everything, isn't it? Because there isn't just like Western medicine is targets symptoms but never looks at root cause. And when you kind of look at your body as the orchestra and every one of them is an instrument, you want all of those instruments to play together in harmony. I don't know if you heard me there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You were frozen. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, it's all like you said. I love that analogy of the orchestra because if one part of the orchestra is not in tune, then it's all going to sound bad, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so that we have to take care of our body. We have to take care of our mind. We have to take care of all of those things that come from within. So it's this whether it's spirituality or mindfulness or whatever you believe in,
Which are,
it
one
doesn't
of the
matter as long as
same.
you're
They
working on
work
your
together.
mind, right?
Yeah.
Your yeah, yes, exactly. So some type of mindfulness, some type of physical capability with your exercise and with your strength training, something with obviously what you put in your mouth. We are,
Mhm.
food is thy medicine, and as to your point of being preventative, that's the thing we're trying to do with our clients is yes, they come to us a lot of times and they have chronic injuries. But a lot of clients come to us because they just don't want to succumb to the aging process, if you will. And so
Mhm.
they are being proactive and they're trying to prevent that from escalating fast because they've seen loved ones or they've seen friends or family that once their health starts to degrade, it just goes down fast. And so that's where we can come in and help them improve their quality of life and increase the longevity. Like, I don't know how many years we'll be on this earth, but whatever time it is, I want to make sure that we're able to enjoy it and live it on our terms without limitations.
Exactly. Great deal of disease comes from dis-ease, dis-ease of mind, body, spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and when that is in that dis-ease, again, things can't flow. Everything is about fluidity. Everything is about working together. When we help the body and the mind is in it, and the spirit is, I'm enjoying this. Again, we're back into that harmony, and that dis-ease goes away. Um, a lot of people find the mere mention of exercise is like, exorcist, you know. uh, and it's like because they've got the image of somebody shouting at them in a gym, right? Which is not what it's about at all, right? Because that is so
Yeah.
bad for the psyche.
No,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like to call ourselves the anti gym, if you will, because I mean, I wear a shirt and tie to work. This is our uniform. I mean, we dress professionally, we treat our clients professionally. It's always one on one. We're not yelling and screaming in like a boot camp or anything like that. We are instructing them meticulously every step of the way so that we can get the most efficient, effective, but far most importantly, the safest workout possible. So that's why our gyms are not with music and blaring things and people socializing. It's more of a clinical, like I said, clinical setting, like you're going into a physical therapy office or a high-end spa or something like that nature. Because we understand that people typically, because as we age, we don't want to go into those big box gyms where people are staring at each other and music
yeah.
blaring and socializing. And you really don't know what you're doing anyway. So that's where we come in as the expert. Everybody needs a coach, in my opinion. So I
Yes.
have business coaches, I have spiritual coaches, I have, any area in my life that I want to improve. I'm going to find somebody who's already been there, done that, so I can
Hmm.
save a lot of time and effort
Yes.
and heartache and try to learn from the best. And
Right.
so, I'm not the most handy guy in the world. So if my sink leaks, I'm most likely going to call a plumber, right? My car breaks down, I'm going to go to a mechanic. So if your body breaks down, everybody thinks, we could do it on our own, but and some people can, but if you need a trainer, that's where we come in. So, we work our expertise and our passion and our purpose to help people become the strongest versions of themselves. That's the beauty. Our clients love it because they literally just have to walk in the door, exercise for 20 minutes, back to their busy day, and improve the quality of their health and fitness.
Well, it's encouragement. As you said, the gym thing it can embarrass people. They're a bit overweight or they're this or that, and they feel
Yeah.
embarrassed and shamed almost. But when you're treating people, as you said, more like physiotherapy, it is like they know that they're investing in their wellness, and when it's done with encouragement, it is more encouraging and there will be more participation instead of it being a chore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I don't want to go. I don't think I can take this person yelling at me anymore, or this body shaming or lifestyle shaming. That doesn't help anyone. Right? It's when you actually encourage people to invest in
Yeah.
themselves, that's when they actually are willing then on all the other levels, diet, lifestyle, stress level, that's when they're willing to work on it because the encouragement is there and the skill, which is very important because if it's the wrong
Yeah.
skill, it could be detrimental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we see that all the time. When clients start with us in a strength training routine, inevitably down the road, it's like a snowball effect in more confidence in their body, more confidence in their abilities. They start to eat better because they don't want to waste and sabotage the investment that they put into the gym. Their mindset improves, just a lot of clarity comes around from this type of thing. So it's the only modality I know of that can profoundly improve the quality of life without a medical intervention or drugs or surgeries or anything like that.
Well, that's what you
So,
want to
yes,
avoid.
you got to put in a little bit of work,
Yeah.
but it's
You want
not
to avoid
much.
the
And that's,
drugs and the surgery.
yeah, yeah,
That's what you
exactly.
want
Yeah,
to avoid. You
absolutely.
don't want to go down that path,
Yeah,
right? It's preventative. Yeah. Very important.
yeah, yeah. I tell my clients either invest in your health and your fitness now, or you're going to pay for it tenfold down the road with aches, pains, doctor bills, doctor's visits, medications. That's just no way to live, in
No.
my opinion.
And yeah, you can have hip replacements, knee replacements, and all of that. Fantastic, brilliant technologies and things that could do that. But still, even when you have that, you need the physiotherapy in order to rebuild those particular joints, muscle and everything else that you have to go through. And if you can prevent it, great. If it's too late, you've already got it. You want to make sure the other knee or the other hip doesn't get hit. And you want to make sure that this operation doesn't have to be repeated because you have optimized the strength of everything around it.
Yeah, we see a lot of clients that come to us solely because they're already scheduled
For
to have a
surgery.
hip replacement or a knee replacement. But what we find with those what we find with those clients is the stronger they get prior to the surgery, the much quicker, the better the recovery becomes. And some of them just keep kicking that can down the road, if you will, because when they increase their strength and blood flow in that joint, they feel better and they lose some excess pounds. There's less stress on the joint. I had one client come to me 10 years ago and they were slated for a knee surgery replacement in about 6 months from starting with us. They still haven't had it because they can tolerate it and they don't need it.
Right.
Eventually, they might have to have it, but and then we'll get people post-op, after they've gone through the surgery. As soon as they get back in with a range of motion and they decrease their swelling and pain, we'll pick right back up. We'll meet them where they're at and at their pace, start to take them through that post-rehab state because you just need to continue to build that strength after that surgical intervention.
Right. Well, as I said, you have 80 and 90-year-olds. So obviously a lot's been lost, which you're not going to get fully back. But again, you can still strengthen them, that they can still have a quality of life. You have a lot of people. I live with an 89-year-old, and she has got an amazing amount of strength. And can still chase after dogs and things like that. Fatigue is beginning to set in a wee bit more with her, but she's always been a very active person. And she had polio when she was young and had 4 years in hospital. So, she had all of that there, but it's for her, it's always been, well, she's a sprinter. She sprints through everything in life. But a lot of it is attitude. But a lot of it is
Yeah.
just getting out there and doing. And I'm 7 hours a day at this computer. And I know at the end of the day, it's like the body is and I've got to do something. That's, I think, another thing that's very important is carving out the time, making sure that, oh no, I haven't got the time. No, we've got to make the time, right? That's the important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. When people say I don't have enough time in the day, and I ask them, how many hours do you have in the day? Because I've got 24 and so do all my clients.
Mhm,
Do you have less than that? It's not a
mhm.
matter of the time. It's a matter of priority.
Yeah.
So I would argue that you're not making it a priority. It's not important enough to you yet. And I say, there's a saying that goes, and I'll butcher it, but it's something to the effect of either spend time for your health and fitness now, or prepare to make time for your sickness down the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
Because if you don't invest in it now, then the body's just going to degrade.
Now, if you have people that have, like I have fibromyalgia, and that is kind of one of the conditions of that is the body completely can stiffen up like heavy cardboard. And, the legs are like weight and all of that. So movement is very important. And of course, when I have the chance, swim or do something. But have you had people with that condition and how have you seen them improved through your process?
Yeah, we unfortunately we have a lot of clients with fibromyalgia. We have a lot of clients with neurological diseases. We have a lot of clients with rheumatoid arthritis or
Mhm.
just severe arthritic issues. And they typically can't tolerate traditional exercise
No.
because it's ballistic in nature, meaning it's hard pounding. That's why our protocol, again, they can tolerate it very well. And again, we meet them where they're at. It's individualized. So the intensity of the exercise is dictated where they're at. So if
Yes.
they're at a low level of intensity, that's fine. We'll slowly increase it over time, and we'll see how they tolerate the intensity. We'll see how they tolerate the stimulus. So we're constantly asking our clients, how did you feel last time? How did you recover? How much time did it take you? Were you, did you feel like you got hit by a Mack truck, which doesn't happen the way that we train, because it's not high in volume, right?
Right.
And so traditionally, those clients tolerate our protocol extremely well because of the therapeutic nature in which we move, and it gets blood flow in those joints.
Yeah.
Like you said, movement's important. So we want to move through a full range of motion. Now, yes, we're using resistance training, but by using resistance training, you get what we call dynamic flexibility, meaning you can stretch the muscle throughout a range of motion and still increase your flexibility going through our machine. So people do static stretching where it's like just hold a position for 30 to 60 seconds. That has a therapeutic effect, don't get me wrong, but the research will show dynamic stretching, moving throughout a range of motion, is highly more effective.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to any professional sports teams or even the college teams now and you see them do a warm-up, we call it a dynamic warm-up. They're moving in space in movement patterns that will simulate what they're about to do on the court, the field, wherever their endeavor is. And
Without
so
the
by going through
intensity.
a full range of motion on our machines, yeah, exactly. And so by going through that full range of motion, it helps our clients to be able to improve their mobility so they can do daily activities without limitations.
Right. I mean, really, it's all about the movement, isn't it? And, you think about in the past, farmers were always on the farm, people were always physically active. We've become a society that is very much, stuck in front of the computer, stuck at a business desk, bus driver on the bus all day long, jobs that kind of have us sitting, and where in the past people would walk to work, walk to school, walk to this, do that physical activity that was there all the time. And it really, as you said, it doesn't take much, but we've got to do something to keep the flow going, to keep the muscles stretching.
Yeah,
And because if we don't, if you don't use it, you lose it.
yeah, absolutely. And that goes back to the research that shows everybody suffers from sarcopenia, the wasting away of muscle tissue. And that's profound because it profoundly decreases the quality of our life as we age. That's why, again, strength training should be the foundation for any type of exercise program, let alone fitness or health or longevity program. Because, a lot of people are, yes, maybe overweight, but I would argue most people are under muscled. And I'm
Mm,
not talking bodybuilders and big
right.
bulky muscles. I'm just talking the quality of muscular tension on your body and to be able to produce force and to be able to produce strength so you can just function throughout the day, and that those muscles stabilize your joints. When
Yes.
the joint starts to wear away, the cartilage, like say in between your knee from the aging process or pounding or whatever it is, the only thing left to take up the shock absorption is your muscles around it. So if we can make those muscles stronger, we can help decrease the stress around that joint as well. So that's like a lot of clients come to me with knee issues or shoulder problems, and we start to strengthen the structure around it. A lot of those pains go away.
Um, my brother has just had his second heart attack. And he's a person that would be out walking every day, 10,000, 15,000 steps every single day. And a vegan, very healthy lifestyle. And, it just turned out that it is generic because that's how we lost our father. So, doesn't, but as they said to him, his lifestyle, because it was 9 years between the two, and he has stents in there now, but it would have been a killer had he had not had that lifestyle. So a lot of people, cancer runs in the family, heart disease runs in the family, and if you know that, you don't want to go down that road. So that preventativeness is something that you need to be in there. And of course, if people have had heart attacks or cancer or anything like that, it is a question of rebuilding the body safely so that you're not overstraining the heart or the body itself that's been going through chemotherapy or anything else. So, it's easy as you go, right? It doesn't mean you have to be full throttle
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, no, absolutely. And that's where we meet our clients where they're at, because unfortunately, we've had a lot of clients while they're training with us during their tenure with us, they now have cancer. And so
Hmm.
they're going through radiation or they're going through chemotherapy, or a client has a heart attack or they have bypass or they have a stroke or whatever it is. So when they come back to us, we'll start to modify the routine. Or if they are doing chemotherapy or radiation and their body's weakened in that stage, we just need to know their treatment plan so that we can accommodate the intensity or the quality of the exercise to meet them where they're at, so that we do not waste, waste them weight so much. They only have so much energy to expend. Yes, we
Exactly.
want to expend that energy as best as possible, but when you're working on 50%, you got to be very careful with those clients. And so that's where the one-on-one nature of what we do in our therapeutic protocol is very advantageous for clients like that. Whereas most trainers would either say, no, thank you. You go and do your own thing, and when you're healthy and fit, then come back to us. Well,
Right.
that's not good for those clients. They need that help. They need that strength. And so that's where we come in, and we can help them, meet them where they're at, take them where they need to get to at their pace.
And that helps them in their own recovery, because you're strengthening the body bit by bit by
Yeah.
bit, which is helping them rejuvenate, because chemotherapy takes a great deal off you, and any heart attack is obviously, you want to make sure that you're not pushing the heart too much, so it's gentle, but at the same time being proactive, being active is helping to strengthen everything that will support the recovery.
Yeah, and a lot of people think in order to strengthen your heart and to help your cardiovascular system that you have to do cardio exercise, running, jogging, biking,
Hmm.
swimming, things like that. You can do those things, but at the end of the day, your muscular system drives your cardiovascular system. Meaning, your muscular system is kind of like the engine in your car. When you rev the engine, the exhaust works harder.
Hmm.
That's your heart and lungs. And the sole job of your heart and lungs, your cardiovascular system, is to carry blood, oxygen, nutrition to a tissue, organ, muscle, cell, and carry waste product away. That's all it does, is it circulates things, it moves things. So if you make your muscles work harder, your heart and lungs have to work harder. So our clients get a profound result from the cardiovascular efficiency through the methodology of high intensity strength training. And plus you get what's called post-exercise oxygen consumption, meaning when you stress the muscle the way we do and we work it to an intent intentionally and intensely, your muscles are starved for blood, oxygen, nutrition 24 to 48 hours after you do the activity. So you up regulation in your cardiovascular efficiency. Whereas steady state activity, it stops right away and it just goes back to a normal state. So we can get that profound improvement at your cardiovascular system from strength training, which people think, strength and cardio are two different things. Well, no, they're all one system as we go through and work the body together. So they're subservient to each other.
Now, have you had people who have had COVID, and lung compromised, because it's the re-strengthening of the lung muscles or the muscles around the lungs, and maybe they're short of breath and it's hard to do. Have you had those cases?
Yeah, we've had just a handful. Most of our clients, they recovered from it pretty quickly. And that's the other thing too that we found, and you'll see it across the world. The stronger, the fitter, the healthier somebody is, if they had COVID, typically it's not as detrimental to their overall recovery as their health as somebody who's got pre-existing conditions, overweight, obese, immune compromised. So our clients really, they bounce back from it pretty quickly and pretty fully. We've had a couple long haulers, if you will, but again, we slowly meet them where they're at and slowly, gradually build them up, build that cardiovascular efficiency through the strength training, build their strength back, which helps boost their immune system. So we've seen just a few of those.
Yeah. My brother, on top of the heart thing and the stent's not working, he got COVID and then shingles. But again,
Oh,
because
geez. Oh,
I know, I mean,
that's
triple whammy, and he's got
yeah.
prostate and kidney problems as well. So, really got hit hard.
Oh,
But again, because he is active, the walker, the this and that, the recovery was so much quicker. So, that's
mhm.
the thing is, but things are going to happen.
Yeah.
You're not saying that you're stopping things from happening, but what you're doing is helping it not to be as severe and helping the recovery time to be a lot faster.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for success regardless of whatever life throws at us, right? So we just want to become the strongest, healthiest, fittest versions of ourselves so that when we come upon a complication like that, that we can go through it gracefully, hopefully fight it through, and then, come out on the other end, getting it back into the strength as we go. And it doesn't, derail our life path as much as it could.
I think attitude is a huge thing in anything in life. Attitude of gratitude is the way we should go in life, but also having a positive attitude in everything that you do is just going to help everything again optimize, everything kind of work in synergy. And if you have a positive attitude of going through the program, you're like, oh, it's a chore, I don't want to do it. But instead, no, I really love what this is doing for me. It changes the whole dynamics of everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I have a saying I tell my clients to say, don't come and say I have to do this.
Yeah.
Say I get to do this. So if you
Mm-hmm.
change it to I get to, right? Like I might not want to, do the chores at home, but I get to do this because there's some people who can't.
Right,
And so
exactly.
when we come from a place of when we come from a place of gratitude, and then when our clients go through our program and they start to feel results, they get addicted to it, if you will. They love it. They miss it when they're not here, when they're on vacation. Like, I missed my workout. I've never had a client walk out of the studio saying, I wish I hadn't come today.
Right.
But they've drugged themselves into that workout going into it. Like, oh, I didn't want to come today. I was going to skip it, whatever. But they're so grateful and
Mm-hmm.
appreciative once they go through it because they know the benefit that they get. Yes, it's work. It's 20 minutes. It's intense on their level. But at the end of the day, it's a small price to pay for the benefit that you get.
We spend more time on maintaining our car or our computer or our phones, than we do actually ourselves. And if we put that same effort into ourselves, we would realize that this particular body vehicle that you're in can take you far and wide, that really can go and do those things, or my bucket list, I really would love to do this, but I don't know if I should at my age. Well, if you have optimized your health and your strength and your muscles, what's stopping you?
Yeah, our clients, like I said, they're typically 55 and above, and a lot of them are 65 and above, and they're retired. And now they're able to enjoy the quality of that life and do those things that they've always wanted to do, those bucket list items. They have grandchildren they want to be able to play with, to get up off the floor with them and not be limited by their physical ailments, if you will.
Right.
So we really truly give them an open freedom, as they navigate through the second half of their life, if you will.
So now you purely work in-house, so you don't do anything virtually with people.
No, we actually do.
Oh,
When
good.
COVID came and we were shut
Hmm.
down through the pandemic for 12 weeks, yeah, we turned an entire company from brick and mortar in our studio to virtual. We took
Ah,
all of our clients virtual. So yes, we use a protocol and we have a fancy equipment and we have a nice studio, but we still see 15% of our clients straight like we're doing now.
so
The
it doesn't
difference
matter where
between
they
most
are. That
virtual training of what happens anywhere in the world we can go
good.
to. Now we've opened up our entire market.
Wonderful.
And we're franchising, so hopefully we'll have studios in around anybody that's that's interested in the future there. But that being said, yeah, anybody who's interested in high intensity strength training with us, 20 minutes twice a week, we can come in via Zoom or via FaceTime. We sit just like we are now. I'm instructing you through an entire 20-25 minute workout, and it's just as good as our workouts in our studio. The equipment just makes our job as the trainers
Yeah.
easier. We actually have to work harder when we're instructing people virtually, but we're with them every step of the way, correcting, making adjustments on the fly, and making sure that it's done correctly and giving clients world-class workouts.
Right.
Because again, it's the quality of the exercise, it's the intensity, and we can get a great intense workout by doing body weight exercises, or we'll use whatever equipment or whatever our client has around their house. We
Right.
get very creative. We've gotten very good at it. And yeah, that's definitely an option for people.
And that's good to know because we are in that world now, where people maybe, again,
Yeah.
COVID hasn't gone anywhere. It's still around and it's still massive amount of cases and then influenza and then this and then that, we're in that Hagler's disruption, uh, change in life that's going on, a lot of chaos out there, and not everybody can physically, maybe the weather gets in the way or whatever, but to
Yep.
open this up now to the rest of the world, and this is kind of one of the gifts that COVID did give us, is that businesses like yourselves that were bricks and mortar, had to pivot for survival, and then it opened up an
Hmm.
entire new industry. And I know many people who work out to YouTube videos or Zoom videos or this and that. And it's like it's all, again, it's just back to that discipline, making that time, making sure you do have the things around you you need for it. And there you go. There's no
Mhm.
excuse, right?
Yeah, there really is no excuse. We keep you accountable by having a scheduled appointment with your trainer. We're going to show up on time with you. It's just like a doctor's visit. You have an
Mhm.
appointment. If you have an appointment with somebody, you're most likely to keep it, right?
Yeah.
So I always tell my clients, like, if they're not getting things done, it's like, make an appointment with yourself. Like,
Yes.
block out on your schedule a half hour to actually eat lunch, right? Or
Hmm.
to go for a walk. Put it in your calendar, and it's most likely to get done. Because if it's not on my calendar, it won't get done. So
Right.
just planning ahead is important as it goes. And yeah, we can, we have studio, whether it's a personal preference of not being around anybody and they're just in the comfort of their own home, or they just really don't have to leave. It really doesn't matter. And we have a lot of our clients that go south or west for the summer, or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, for the winter. So we affectionately call them our snowbirds, right? So
Hmm.
now they don't have to interrupt their training if they're gone for 2-3 months. We can simply then come in via Zoom or FaceTime virtually and continue their workout while they're gone. Because again, if you don't use it, will start to lose it.
Right.
So we can
Exactly.
maintain their program while they're down in the south or out west, not up here in Ohio. So
So again, it's adaptable. So therefore it's adoptable. No excuse. And again, I know
yeah.
an awful, I have a friend who would go to aquatics all the time. And then she had a hip operation and she got over that very quickly. And then she had a knee operation and she wished to God she never did. She said the pain afterwards has been more than the pain before. And she was playing pickleball and this
uh,
and that, etc. But now she's just finding everything so difficult because she hasn't got this type of thing. And uh, oh, you need to go to physiotherapy. No, you can't because it's shut down. There is a shortage of staff, or there's this, or there's that, and there's an awful lot of people that need kind of the recovery gym, rather than, the exercise gym, so to speak. And there's so few places around there. So, having where it can be done online and it doesn't matter where they are, they just need that how to do it properly, how to pace themselves
mhm.
properly that they're not going to hurt themselves anymore, how to push to gain that strength without going overboard. And again,
Yeah.
that encouragement, which
Hmm.
is really, really important because we all need that kind of cheerleader that's
Yeah.
cheering us on in doing it. So it's it opens up the doors to so many other people that don't have access. I mean, like I'm in British Columbia in Canada. We have 2 million people without a doctor. And we have shortages of physio, this, that, etc., everywhere. You're filling the gap between the exercise gym and the physiotherapist by combining the two together for each of the clients.
Yeah, we've taken a very different approach to exercise, wellness, health, and fitness. Again, with my background being physical therapy and sports medicine, and our protocol being very therapeutic in nature, we fill a gap, like you said, that's between the physiotherapist and the personal trainer, and we've kind of melded them into together.
Yeah,
Now, we don't do physical therapy per se. Like, if you have a knee replacement, yes, go to your physical therapist by all means. But we're the next step
yeah.
of post rehab, if you will. And we
Mm,
service clients like that all the time because there is that need. Because when they're done with their therapy, they're left to go on their own devices. And people typically, one, they're not compliant, they won't do it. And two, they will do it wrong. And like you
right,
said, you need that accountability. You need that coach. You need that motivation. You need that instruction. You need somebody who knows what they're doing to help you get to where you need to be, along your path and to be able to progress you. Like,
right.
when you're done with therapy, that's great. They're just getting you back to normal function, but we want to keep progressing you along the path.
But it's also recognizing, you know, um, helping them recognize which pain is saying, no more. And then also which pain is like, no, it's okay, you can push through that, right? Because that's where so many people go wrong in recovery. It's like, oh no, the pain, I can't go any further, or I've got to push through the pain and now I've re-injured myself. So it's having somebody
Yeah.
who can gauge that. No, no, let's slow down. We'll push a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more next time, but you don't need to push this
Sure.
time if that's what's happening. And you need somebody who kind of is in tune to that because people either get scared and don't do it because of it or do go overboard with it.
Yeah, you need that watchful expert eye, if you
Mm.
will, right? And most people won't work intense enough to make the body change and adapt, because let's face it, exercise done correctly, it's not fun, it's not enjoyable. When you work at an intense level, your muscle starts to burn, your body starts to ache, things start to get uncomfortable. So that fight or flight pattern takes on from a neurological perspective. So we help clients breathe through those methods. We utilize a breathing protocol. So we want to avoid holding our breath. We want free continuous breathing the entire time. That keeps us calm, keeps us effective, and keeps us in the running. And there's so many little nuances that we can change on the fly when a client is moving in space. Because we lift the weights in a very slow and controlled manner, we can change movement patterns per the second. Whereas if everybody's just throwing stuff around, the trainer can't change anything until after the set, which typically after the set, the damage is already done.
Right.
So that's where we can come in and really modify the routine while they're going through it and make sure it's done correctly, safely, and efficiently.
And by having, the coach that kind of knows what you did last time, knows where you need to go this time, then it's like you haven't just got a stranger and, well, do I have to explain it again? Or, it's like, we reached this goal last time, let's get there again and then push an ounce further, and it becomes that, encourager that, makes you motivated to do it. And of course, then the results is in your daily life, the results as in, what you are capable of doing. And let's face it, I mean, I'm 68. A lot of people, in the past, 68, in your rocking chair with your knitting needles, you were out to pasture. And now we see so many people, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, being out there. We see it in the actors, we see it in various performers, we see it in people just being motivated about life. It's like, hell, don't put me out to pasture. I've still got things to do, but you want your body to be able to do it with you.
Yeah, I've got a male client who's in his late 60s, and he came to us solely to strengthen and build muscle and strength and endurance so he could hike the Appalachian Trail. And he did it. And now he's got his sights set on other things. So, there's nothing going to stop him, because at the end of the day, he sees how active he can be and the things that he can accomplish through strength training with us. Right. It just improves the things that you think that, we have to succumb to that aging process. There's no reason that we have to. There's so much research to support. If we can increase our strength and maintain our strength as we age, our functional ability can maintain high levels of function as we age through that process.
There's a lovely video going around Facebook, a YouTube video of an old couple. They're actually in their 90s, and they get out there and they're dancing, and they're doing the boogie woogie, and they're spinning around and this and that, etc. And it's like, just obviously they've been dancing it all their lives. I mean, they're so in sync, but you just look at them with the abundance of energy. And that's the thing is, do this strength training so you can go out and do something that you absolutely love.
Yes. And that's when we meet with a client for the first time, we'll always ask them, why is this important to you? And that's an important question, because at the end of the day, it's different for everybody. One client might be, well, I want to be able to play with my grandchildren. One might be, I want to hike the Appalachian Trail. One might be, I just want to be able to get up out of the chair without aches and pains. I want to wake up without having to pop a bunch of pills, or my daily schedule is filled with doctor visits. So whatever their why is, or their purpose of being here, we're going to meet them for that purpose and remind them of that as they go through this. Because yes, the strength training is the component, it's the process, it's a necessary evil, if you will, because people, like you said, it's not the exercise but the exorcism. I love that. I'm gonna steal that, by the way.
Go ahead.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so we make it an enjoyable process. One, we're nice people, we love helping people. It's our passion to help people become the strongest versions of themselves. And at the end of the day, it is personal training. So we develop that rapport with that client. And to your point earlier, we always know where they're at along the process, because we're working with them intimately, all the time. And they might go back and forth between one or two trainers, but we all know that client. It's the norm effect. If you ever watch Cheers, like everybody knows your name when you walk in the door, right?
Yes.
So that's our small family environment, if you will. And clients love it. They become attached to my trainers, and the clients, trainers to them. And it's just a great environment, because we truly care about people. That's why we're in this business, is to help people with their quality of life, but truly just help them when most people would just put it on the back burner, like I said before, and just let the aging process take place, but you
Right.
don't need to.
You know, life is about energy. And when you're in the positive energy, everything about it flows. You know, our body is 98% water. And again, if you
Mhm.
feed that water positively, it's going to be there to nourish your body. And, you know, when we crunch down, we block the energy. And that's when things start breaking down. And so, you know, having a body that is strong and able to sustain a good back and good hips and good arms, etc., that can keep the flow going. It keeps the optimism going. It keeps the possibilities going. And but it also is about the energy that they do actually get with the trainers. It's a shared energy, and that's where the encouragement and the enthusiasm is. But it also allows us to ignite our own energy and take it up to a higher plane. And that higher plane, you know, is actually the frequency of love. And when we are in that state of love and we love who we are and why we are and what we're doing, that is when, you know, the orchestra is playing, right? And everybody is participating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, clients love the effect that they get. They love the results. They love that it's only 20 minutes twice a week. So it's not a big
Yeah.
hindrance on their time and their efforts. They can go back to their busy day with their children or with their job or whatever, family or philanthropic efforts or whatever it is. So we truly save them time to do the things that they truly enjoy
Yeah.
by only having them exercise 20 minutes twice a week.
Right. Why 20 minutes twice a week? What is it significant about that time?
Yeah, so great question. So we utilize what we call the minimum effective dose. So pharmaceutical companies bank their livelihood off of this model, and that means we want the smallest dose that will produce the desired results.
Mm-hmm.
So when doctor gives you a drug for whatever ailment it is, maybe it's blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, they give you the minimum effective dose. Too much is toxic, could have an adverse effect or kill you. Not enough doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So just like a doctor prescribes medicine, we prescribe exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So we know from all the research, when you come in the gym, you have a full tank of gas, energy, and strength. Our sole goal is to momentarily weaken you as best we can. We call that an inroad. I want to empty that gas tank, if you will. I want to fatigue the muscle. It's the fatiguing of the muscle that stimulates the body for change. Hence, it's the intensity of the exercise, not the quantity, right? So it's quality versus quantity. And we only have so much energy to expend.
Right.
So we find around 20, 25 minutes, we can get a total body routine in that time frame and truly exhaust the musculature to make it a profound difference once it walks out the door. And so that's our dose, if you will. That's
Mm-hmm.
and then the frequency is twice a week, because the body takes 24 to 40 hours after you do the exercise. When it rebuilds, it changes and adapts. When you
Right.
exercise, nothing positive is happening, right? As I said earlier, it's a stress on the body. We're breaking down muscle tissue. We're actually creating microfiber tears. The body recovers and regenerates and changes and becomes stronger and more healthy and fit over the 24 to 48 hours of recovery. And then we bring them back, repeat that process. Hence, that's why we only train up most to twice a week.
Right.
So it's the dose of 20 minutes, the frequency of twice a week is our prescription of exercise, if you will.
And you know, it's so doable. It's so doable,
Yeah.
whether you're doing it virtually or whether you're going in. It's like you're taking 40 minutes, hello, how are you? A nice little chat. Maybe it's an hour a week, all right? To
Yeah.
invest in your body. It's absolutely no time at all. But as you said, what it's doing, you know, those small doses, you know, they say for certain people, just for the heart, you know, just baby aspirin. You know, all you needed is the baby
Yeah.
aspirin as a preventative, and there's other things like nutritions, you know, magnesium, this, that,
Sure.
etc.
Yeah.
All of those things in the low quantities and of persistence, you know, continuum,
Yeah.
are going to help overall over the period of time be the strength that you need. So we've been conditioned that we need to be out there every day. You've got to do 10,000 steps a day. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. And it's not sustainable and it's not always obtainable for people. Whereas
Yeah.
this is something that is supporting the muscle by building the muscle. And with that muscle allows us to achieve so much more in other areas of our lives. Be able to go for that longer walk, be able to go for that swim, be able to climb that mountain, be able to go for a bike ride with the kids, which we couldn't do before. And it doesn't feel like exercise when you're doing that. It feels like enjoyment because there isn't so
Right.
much strain on the body.
Yeah. I mean, it's, the beauty is I'm always asking the question, what's the least amount of time I can spend exercising and get the most profound result? I'm
Right.
so grateful that I found this methodology and have refined it over the last 20 years because I've got 3 kids. I'm a solo dad. I've got multiple business entities. I've got a team to take care of and lead, and my clients as well. And I've got philanthropic things and social things that I want to do. I don't want to spend hours in the gym like I did when I was in high school or in college. I don't
Right.
have the time to do it, nor do I want to have the time to do it. There's some people who love to go in the gym for hours and just every day of the week, and that's for them a mental release, or they have to do it. That's fine. But that's not most people in my experience. So that's where
Right.
we come in and can help them really, truly get a profound result in a fraction of the time they would normally spend in the gym or they think they need to spend in the gym.
So talking about your fund, you've got the JLT fund. What is that?
Yeah. So unfortunately, my wife passed away last year of a
Oh, I'm so
massive heart
sorry.
attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Thank you. She was 48 years old, and she was healthy as could be. She was a product of the product, and it was just a freak thing. And so she was a high-powered attorney here in Cleveland, Ohio. And so I set up the JLT fund. Her name's Jody Littman Tomaszewski. So it's the JLT fund. And the JLT fund helps female law students provide for their education by supplementing through scholarships.
Mm.
And so we want to help females who are change makers and leaders in the industry, just like Jody was to her firm. She was the first. She was only at one firm, but she was there for 20 some years. She was the first female partner in that firm, and she blazed the trail for other partners to come along beside her or behind her. So she was very into the community, into the school systems. My kids played volleyball. She was on the boards and on the boosters, and she was on different boards throughout the community. So I just wanted to keep my wife's impact and legacy alive. And so for my 3 girls as well, because I have 3 teenage girls. So, I want to make sure that, her legacy and impact continue on. So we've already raised $200,000,
Wow.
and our goal is to raise $300,000 for the Case School of Law, where Jody went to law school, and that will, in perpetuity, throw out a $15,000 law scholarship every year for a second or third year law student. So
Excellent.
we'll present that for the first time next year. Yeah. So that's the
Bravo.
JLT fund.
But case in point where you're saying she was 48, seemed healthy, but then if there is a genetic thing there that is unseen, it is
Yeah.
things happen, and sometimes it doesn't matter how much we maintain ourselves. We have no idea when our number is up, and it isn't anything she did wrong, right? It's
No.
just one of those
No.
freak things, but it isn't about when we're going, it's about what we do while we're here, right? And obviously
Yeah.
she had a huge impact while she was here.
She did, only at 48 years on this earth, but she made a profound impact on everybody she touched.
Mhm.
She could cultivate relationships and maintain them like no other person I've ever met. I'm talking from elementary school, high school, to college, to law school, to her job, in the community, friends. I mean, she was always befriending new people and cultivating these relationships and giving value to those relationships. Whereas most people are lucky to have 1 or 2 close friends, she had many, and I'm talking many, that were like best friends. And, so it was profound. She was a very unique person for sure. And so we just want to keep that legacy going. So if anybody's ever interested, they can find out more information at thejltfund.org. That's the website we've set up for donations and for support for the female law students moving forward.
It's also a great inspiration and something for the kids, not only to
Mm-hmm.
look up to their mum, to carry that forward for them, and whether they go into law or not, it's something
Yeah.
they can get behind and support in support of others. And really, what is life all about but being supportive of each other? We're not
Yeah.
here to just be me, myself, and I. We're
Mm-hmm.
responsible for our instrument and how we learn to play it and whom we play it for. But we're all meant to be part of an orchestra somewhere. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's how we bring our instrument to that orchestra and play together in harmony that really does create something that's wondrous for other people. And so, it's everything that you're doing is kind of community based, is supportive based, and is about having people be the best they can be, whatever they've
Yeah.
got to face in life. And we don't know what we're going to face in life. Our family at the present moment is facing something that is extremely challenging. And it is when we have the inner strength and the outer strength to face something, we can always face it with grace, right? And we
Yeah.
can always face it together. And that's important. But I know so many people in my age bracket, and they were dancers, they're this, they're that, and they're every day, they're doing something to keep that maintenance. And I have to say that, no, I haven't been. I've never been driven that way. And I'm so stuck behind this computer. It's something that I do have to be mindful of. I do have to
Yeah.
make time for. But I'm shortchanging myself, and I know that. And so, it's
Sure.
really important. So it doesn't matter where you are, folks, and your actual locations are where?
We're in Cleveland, Ohio. So I have 2 studios in Cleveland on the east and the west side.
And of course, you're opening up to franchises being opened up elsewhere.
Mhm.
So people are going
Yeah,
to
we'll
inquire
be
about that.
yeah, we'll be going all over the country. So if anybody's ever interested in either the personal training, either virtual or in studio, or franchising opportunities, or all of our social media handles, everything's provided at maxstrengthfitness.com. So it's maxstrengthfitness.com. That's our main facing website for our clients. But there's also a franchise tab on there if they're interested in information on that. And then we've got a lot of social information on Facebook, on YouTube. We do a video every week, motivational, inspirational videos. We've got over 100 of them, and they're short and sweet. They're 2 to 3 minutes to consume, but they're giving value to clients, helping them, as I tell my clients, win the war outside of our doors, because when they leave, I can't really help them, but
Right.
we want to inspire them, motivate them, and give them other things that they can work on, whether it's mindfulness or their nutrition or mobility or just life in general. So we take, like I said, a very holistic approach when it comes to wellness and health and fitness.
A lot of people, may only pay attention to one thing, but we've got to realize we are a whole being. Mind,
Mm-hmm.
heart, body, spirit, and soul. And all of those things need to be the orchestra in harmony. And if one instrument is out of sync, it throws the whole body out of sync. So the maintenance of everything, the maintenance of the body is going to strengthen, the spirit. It's going to strengthen the possibility, strengthen the mind. Everything works in tune with each other. And if we don't invest in ourselves, we're the ones paying the price down the road. Right. And
Yeah,
those
true.
around us are going to pay the price, because of it as well. And so, we really owe it to ourselves, but we also owe it to our loved ones, because we don't really want to become a burden to them later on because we didn't take care of ourselves today.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients that come to me and they say, I want to get strong and so I can become and maintain my independency. I don't want my
Yes,
kids to have to take care of me.
exactly.
So that's their motivation sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And having had a brother who had his first heart attack maintaining, looking after my mother who was bedbound, and that heart attack came, working full time and looking after her. Yes, we've got to remember the caregivers. And so we need to
Yeah,
work, we've got to be as preventative as possible so that,
sure.
we don't put that strain on other people around us as well. So
Right.
again, the site is again,
maxstrengthfitness.com. You can find
and
all the information there.
and everything that you need in there. So if people want to just have a chat and find out if this is going
Mhm.
to work for them or no more detail, they can reach out. And
Yep.
again, it doesn't, obviously, but there is a particular time window you have. It's not going to be in the middle of the night in Australia, though you
Sure.
may end up with a franchise that can do that, right? That doesn't matter. So
Ready?
if somebody wants to open a franchise in another part of the world to serve,
Yep.
that's perfectly all
Yeah.
right. But to ask your questions, is this for you? And more details, reach out, because if I've done a lot of shows on fitness, and they've always been a lot to the extreme. And you
Mm.
are the first one that has been, 20 minutes twice a week, and slow development
Yes.
rather than boom, boom, boom. And
Yes.
this is far more my speed. And
Yeah.
for whether they want to admit it or not, a lot of people I know, this is far more their speed as well. So
Absolutely. And it should be because it's safer.
yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we just don't want to add a burden to someone because they've gone and done something that was detrimental by pushing too hard, right? It isn't
Right.
about that, right? It isn't about proving anything. It's just about maintaining your body so that you can go out and have the quality of life, whether you're still working or whether you're
Yeah.
retired, because so many
Yeah.
people I know retired from their job and now doing what they love, right?
Yeah.
In work.
Sure.
So invest the time in yourself and reach out. Thank you so much for sharing here today and for creating something that really does make sense, especially to us little elders that, can't do that young stuff anymore. Because I think it's more encouraging for us to know, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can
Yeah.
do that. And that's the big thing. And because when they can, they do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I truly appreciate it.
My pleasure. And Merry Christmas to you and your family, and I
Merry
hope that you
Christmas.
have a
Yeah.
wonderful time there. So everybody remember, you've got to maintain your body, heart, spirit, and soul. You're working on all of the other things, but don't forget the body. You can't do that heavy duty stuff you don't want to, or you don't want to invest that amount of time. This is a really wonderful, easy solution that over time will keep you optimized so that your vehicle is going to take you right to the very end and still keep on kicking. Until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Find all of our shows on selfdiscoverymedia.com under podcasts or selfdiscoverymedia/shows. And for all our current shows, go to What's New. We are supported by you, the audience. You'll see a nice big shiny blue button for one-time donations, or follow us on Patreon and you will be able to support us there. We enjoy bringing you such wisdom. And the next show will be up in just a moment.